Well, happy Friday, everybody. I hope that you are having a blessed post Assumption today. Today's saint is Saint Stephen of Hungary. I believe it's in Hungarian István. One of my good friends who is in Hungary is named István. He's from Budapest. One of the things, or the reasons why we celebrate kings and queens in our Catholic tradition is, well, first of all, they had the virtue of holiness or heroic virtue, but also to show to those who rule or are in authority that you can use that authority for the common good, which is ultimately building up towards the holiness of life. If you have good common good, then you can have holiness of life because you have the means by which to obtain holiness. It's very easy. It would be great if our politicians today would observe some of these kings and queens that were canonized throughout our history to see how do you implement that into a society for the sake of the common good, which ultimately refers to the holiness of life. In today's gospel, it's a very special gospel. I'm going to take a little twist to it from my own meditation, I should say, and just meditating on this particular gospel for a long time. There are two really important things happening in the gospel. One is the clear sign, the clear natural vocation of a man and a woman toward the sacrament of holy matrimony. As we know, that was a sacrament that Jesus, or the natural way of which man and woman were to be together, which was matrimony. And so what Jesus does, he uplifts that and makes it a sacrament. So the very way of which he reveals himself and his Father to the world via a married couple. And so he makes this natural way of life to a theological virtue of a sacrament. The other point of this is that flip side. Jesus talks about for those that are not married, right? And he gives the criteria. Some just can't get married for various reasons. But then there are some that forsake marriage for the kingdom of God. And we would call that the charismatic aspect of the church, or, throughout the tradition, we would say the evangelical counsels, those who took on poverty, chastity, and obedience. At least that's from St. Thomas. But already early on, we see in the early church, but even followers of Jesus himself, those that were married and those that were not married doing the work of the gospel. So it's to say that whether you are a married couple or whether you are a single person, whether you've taken religious vows, whether you are an ordained priest, we are all given over to this one common mission of communicating the gospel to the world. For a long time in the medieval church, obviously, they dealt with, well, if you were married, you were kind of on the lower end of things, and if you weren't married, you were kind of on the higher end of things. And then you had the Second Vatican Council, which highlighted, rightly so, the role of all the baptized in the mission. And we say like the role of the laity or the role of the confirmed in the mission. And so I really think it's in today's church, this contemporary society we live in, that it's really through the sacrament of holy matrimony where I really believe we're going to see a lot of saints coming out of this era of the church. But we all can share in the one common mission. Again, whether we are single, whether we are consecrated, whether we are ordained, whether we are married, we can all belong to this one common mission of communicating the gospel. And what the most important thing is to reveal Jesus to the world, his love, his mercy, in the Holy Trinity. So give thanks to God for all these states of life that Christ has either called us to or that we have freely chosen and that he has given us the grace to live. Give thanks to God for that, but know really what's at stake is the mission. Communicating the gospel is the mission, no matter what state of life you live in. Peace.